The man hits He Shin with all his might several times. He says to himself, how astonishing. He was the one who was getting beaten all the time, and his aura was weakening. But why does he still have that terrifying expression on his face? The man decides to end the fight with the decisive blow. Third sequence, instant kill. He Shin flies a long distance from the force of the blow. The man says, high school students today are hopeless, too weak, yet they pretend to be strong. He Shin heals himself. The man says, his recovery speed from injuries, even the best soul-attracting doctor in the world can't do that. The man prepares his final blow. System notification, 20 hits fulfilled. 100 forged steel training complete. He Shin activates the Black Underworld World Palm Thunder spell. He hits the man, but the man blocks the blow with his hand and says, just a beginner's spell. I can catch it with one hand. He Shin tells him, then go ahead and catch it. Forged steel palm, 100 forged steel repeated. He hits them. The man is affected by the force of the blow and flies towards the forest. He says to himself, his body affected by the blow. Most of the meridians in my body are shattered. He says, just a high school student at the beginner level of the soul attracting realm has already forced me to channel energy for healing. Damn it. As soon as I recover, I'll beat him to death. He looks at his hand and says, damn it. Why is this lightning still stuck to my hand? Why won't it detach? The orb stuck in his hand explodes, causing damage in the forest. System notification, enemy defeated. Magic item obtained. Dynamic monocular lens. Enhances dynamic vision, making it easier to track fast-moving objects. The story shifts to the president. He says to himself, this man's ranking is rising very quickly. And not only that, this kid also took down the thugs I sent. One of the girls says, He Shin, your rank is climbing fast. Do you mind sharing the secret? I'll trade you 5 yuan's nourishing pills. One of the students says, that witch pounced on me as soon as she smelled it. The student replies, and she even bullies you for not knowing the market. She's trying to trade such a secret for just 5 ordinary yuan nourishing pills. The story shifts to the classroom. The teacher says, today is the chemistry exam. Show your skills in making and detecting poisons. We are introduced to the chemistry teacher, Zan Qingyan. She says, in the future, when you enter your dangerous professions, you will inevitably face tricks from colleagues, subordinates, superiors, and competitors. If you don't want to die suddenly at work one day, then do your best in this exam. Each of you will be given several samples. Before the exam ends, identify which ones are poisonous. Swallow the non-poisonous ones. Your final grade will depend on the speed of detection and accuracy. If you can even name the poison, you will get bonus points. The president says to himself, your entire class has been manipulated by someone. My second brother's rank won't even reach a dangerous profession. You'll die here today. With so many strong-smelling substances mixed together, forget about identifying the poison by smell. If you're thinking of identifying the poison by other means, unfortunately our poison has been heavily concealed. Our family's poison expert is not just for show. Even this chemistry teacher may not be able to detect it, let alone you. Teacher Zan Yunshu says, you are still excellent at poison detection as usual. She goes to He Shin and says, hello student. Everyone is already showing their abilities. Why are you still standing? The president says to himself, what else can he do but stand? He doesn't know which one to choose. It doesn't matter what he eats, he's dead anyway. The story shifts to the Sky Dragoness. Since I became ruler, things have become incredibly boring. My only occupation is hunting. 5 minutes before the Sky Dragoness appeared, He Shen ate all the poison test materials. The teacher says, did you really eat all of that? What on earth are you doing? Do you realize this could cost you your life? Fortunately for you, I anticipated fools like you, so I precisely controlled the dosage. Don't worry, it's not fatal, but prepare for severe diarrhea. The principal, pleased with He Shen eating the poison, thinks to himself, you fool, I poisoned every single bite. This is enough to kill you 5 times over, and more. He Shen is affected by the poison and collapses, dead. The teacher checks him and says he's dead. The students exclaim, oh, God. The school will be in the headlines tomorrow. One student says, headlines? Nobody cares about that. He's not from a major sect, nor is he a top student. A student dying suddenly in their final year is quite common. Teacher Zan thinks to herself, damn, this will definitely affect my promotion evaluation. Who dared to tamper with my test? Shen wakes up after the sky dragoness heals him. The teacher doesn't notice and is still thinking, could it be that damn sports teacher? He's competing with me for the title this round. He's incredibly suspicious, for sure. Shen says, teacher. The teacher is startled and backs away from him. She says, you're still alive? She thinks to herself, this is the first time in my teaching career I've seen something like this. Whether it was feigning death or resurrection. This student's trickery even deceived me. Shen says, all 5 food items were poisoned, including the spiritually scattered powder, and the last one was poison. It's the inheritor. The principal thinks to himself, this can't be true. To be absolutely sure, I even brought a poison expert from our sect. A condensation realm master. I've already investigated this girl's background meticulously. She's a nobody, and her record is completely clean. How could an unknown person with no name survive? A poison expert from the condensation realm? The teacher goes to the lab to analyze Shen's blood. The teacher says, where is Shen's blood? I've finally analyzed it, and all the results were correct. It's impossible for that idiotic sports teacher to have orchestrated this. This was done by a true poison expert from the condensation realm. Even, I needed half the night to analyze it. This man is truly a strange being. The story shifts to Shen in the office. He says, I never imagined there was a way to communicate like this. The sky dragoness says, this is your forbidden bloodline technique, and you didn't even know how to use it. That's foolish. Our life points are linked now. We can use this for emergency communication. Shen says, but encrypted communication like this is painful. Don't immortals have better ways to talk to humans? The sky dragoness says, do you think being a god means absolute freedom? For humans, we are mobile, strategic nuclear weapons. Every movement is under the scrutiny of the immortal palace. I've already descended once by myself. If I communicate with humans again carelessly, if the immortal palace finds out, some immortals will come to track me down. Shen says, so, can you at least tell me where to find the ultimate treasures? The dragoness says, everything I'm allowed to share with you is already embedded in that pre-loaded batch of skills. Just follow the instructions. A girl comes and shouts at Shen, I know high school students face a lot of pressure these days, but if you really bled in the library, now, I'll be the one cleaning the blood again. Shen says, sorry, I'll clean the blood myself later. Actually, I wanted to ask about some books. The girl asks, what kind of books? Shen says, I'm in my final year. I want to aim for the condensation realm. Do you have any good preparatory books? The girl says, there's still almost a whole year until the university entrance exams, and you're already preparing for the condensation realm? Shen asks, is the condensation realm difficult? The girl replies, are you really a final year student? You seriously lack common sense. If you can break through to the condensation realm during the university entrance exam, your admission is basically guaranteed. And if you reach it now, you can apply for a direct recommendation. She takes the book and says, kids these days have such high ambitions, but they're baseless. The girl gives him 3 books. She says, these are the 3 best-selling books. If you can fully comprehend them, that's already a very good achievement, at least. Shen takes the books and flips to the last page. The girl says, a complicated book like that, and he flips directly to the last page. This is completely backward logic. It's truly hopeless. Shen says, breaking through to the condensation realm requires completing the refinement of the key first body to level 10. In addition to the help of a condensation pill, this process may cause spiritual energy to rage within your body, leading to severe injuries. Therefore, you need an abundant amount of high-level healing medicines and foundation-stabilizing medicines. They are expensive and risky. You can still die during the process. He thinks to himself, I understand. All I need is to prepare a condensation pill. The story shifts to the poison expert. Zhang, a poison master from the condensation realm, says, and I'm still unable to kill a final year student. The poison expert says, Master Zhang, please calm down. Something must have gone wrong. Give me another chance. I'll make sure he dies this time, really. Zhang says, he currently ranks 10th in the class in terms of scores. I won't allow that thorn in my eye to succeed so easily. I'll give you another week. If he's not dead, bring me your head. Outside, He Shen was breaking into the place.